Imagine this. You're 24, glowing, pregnant, and just one day away from marrying the love of your life. The air is thick with anticipation. The scent of flowers fills your home, and your heart is bursting with joy. This was Saya's reality, a picture-perfect dream on the verge of becoming her life. But in the blink of an eye, that dream was about to turn into her worst nightmare. What would you do if the foundation of your world crumbled just hours before you said, "I do"? Would you scream, cry, run away? Saya did none of those things. What she did next would not only redefine her own life, but also send shockwaves through her entire community. This isn't just a story of betrayal, it's a story of unimaginable strength, cunning strategy, and the birth of a warrior. Stay with me, because you won't believe how this unfolds. The day before the wedding, a knot of unease began to twist in Saya's stomach. Her fiancé Rajbir was acting distant, his phone calls short and his excuses flimsy. He claimed he was out with friends for a final bachelor celebration, but something felt wrong. Trusting her gut, Saya decided to do a little investigating. Using a location-sharing app they both used for safety, she checked his whereabouts. Her heart sank. He wasn't at the bar he mentioned. He was at a hotel across town, a hotel known for its discretion. Her mind raced. Was she being paranoid, overly anxious due to the pregnancy hormones? She had to know for sure. Taking a deep breath, she drove to the hotel, her hands trembling on the steering wheel. What she found there would shatter her world into a million pieces. Peeking through a slightly ajar door of a hotel room, Saya's breath caught in her throat. There was Rajbir, the man she was supposed to spend her life with, the father of her unborn child, and he wasn't alone. With him was her own cousin, Nihada, same cousin who was supposed to be her maid of honor. The betrayal was a physical blow, knocking the air from her lungs. For a moment, the world spun, and darkness threatened to swallow her whole. But then, something inside her snapped. It wasn't despair that flooded her veins, it was ice-cold clarity. Tears were a luxury she couldn't afford. Running away was not an option. In that split second, a new plan began to form. A plan fueled not by revenge, but by a fierce, primal need for justice. Quietly, she raised her phone, pressed record, and captured the evidence that would change everything. With the damning video secured on her phone, Saya didn't rush home in a tear-filled rage. Instead, she acted with the precision of a seasoned general preparing for battle. She drove to a quiet cafe, her mind a whirlwind of strategy. First, she backed up the video to multiple cloud accounts and a secure hard drive. Evidence was her ammunition, and she wasn't going to risk losing it. Next, she made a crucial phone call, not to her parents, not to a friend who would offer sympathy, but to a trusted family friend who was also a formidable lawyer. She explained the situation calmly and methodically. Together, they devised a plan to protect her and her baby's future. They initiated legal steps to freeze their joint assets and secure her financial independence. Saya understood this was bigger than just a broken heart. It was about safeguarding her dignity, her future, and the life of her child. While Rajbir and Neha slept, oblivious, Saya was building her fortress, brick by methodical brick. The wedding day arrived. The venue was a breathtaking spectacle of flowers and lights. Guests chattered excitedly, oblivious to the storm that was about to break. Saya looked radiant in her bridal attire, a serene smile gracing her lips. But beneath the calm exterior was a heart pounding with resolve. As she walked down the aisle, she met Rajbir's gaze. He smiled, a picture of a loving groom, completely unaware that he was walking into a trap of his own making. Neha stood by, her face a mask of false sincerity. The ceremony began, the priest's words of love and commitment echoing through the silent hall. Everything proceeded as planned, right up to the moment they were to exchange vows. When the priest asked if anyone had objections, a hush fell over the crowd. And that's when Saya raised her hand. "I do," she said, her voice ringing with newfound power. "I have an objection." A collective gasp swept through the guests. All eyes were on Saya. Rajbir's smile faltered, replaced by a look of pure confusion. He reached for her hand, whispering, "Saya, what are you doing? Is this a joke?" She pulled her hand away. "The only joke here, Rajbir," she said, her voice steady and clear for all to hear, "is the one you tried to make of me." With a subtle nod to a technician she had hired, a giant screen hidden behind the floral arch flickered to life. The whispers in the hall died instantly, replaced by a stunned, deafening silence. On the screen, the video she had recorded in the hotel room began to play. The graphic evidence of Rajbir and Neha's betrayal was broadcast for everyone to see, their families, their friends, the entire community. The shame on Rajbir's face was instantaneous, his skin turning a ghastly shade of white. Neha simply crumbled, her face buried in her hands. The dream wedding had just become a public trial, and Sia was the judge, jury, and executioner. The aftermath was chaos. Shouts of anger and disbelief erupted from both families. Sia's father, a man of great honor, looked at Rajbir not with anger but with profound disappointment and shame. Rajbir's parents were mortified, unable to look anyone in the eye. The wedding was, of course, called off immediately. Rajbir and Neha were ostracized, their reputations ruined in an instant. They faced not just social disgrace, but legal and financial consequences as well, thanks to Sia's foresight. But for Sia, this public revelation was never about revenge. It wasn't about humiliating them for the sake of it. It was about reclaiming her power. It was about refusing to be a silent victim. She had exposed the truth not to destroy them, but to liberate herself from their lies and protect her own honor. She chose to stand tall in her truth, rather than hide in the shadows of their deceit. In the months that followed, Sia focused on herself and her baby. She gave birth to a beautiful, healthy daughter whom she named Creeper, meaning grace. The experience had changed her. The pain she endured had forged her into something stronger, something more. She realized that her story was not unique, that countless women suffer in silence, trapped by betrayal and societal pressure. She knew she had to do something. So, using the financial settlement she secured and her own resources, she established the Crippa Foundation. Her mission was simple yet powerful: to provide legal aid, emotional support, and a safe haven for women facing betrayal, abuse, and injustice. She transformed her personal tragedy into a public crusade. The woman who was supposed to be a broken bride had become a beacon of hope for thousands. Ceol's story spread like wildfire, inspiring women everywhere. She became a symbol not of a victor, but of a victor. Her foundation grew, helping women fight for their rights, regain their self-respect, and rebuild their lives. She proved that from the deepest pain can come the greatest purpose. She taught everyone that you don't have to run from your problems. You can face them head-on with courage and intelligence. Her actions on her wedding day were not just about exposing a cheater. They were a declaration of worth. She declared that her dignity was not for sale, that her future was her own, and that she and every woman like her deserved truth, honor, and respect. Ceol's journey shows us that sometimes the most shocking act is not to fall apart, but to stand up and fight back, turning your deepest wounds into your greatest strengths. Thank you so much for watching and sharing this incredible story of strength with me today. If Ceol's journey inspired you, please hit that like button and share it with someone who might need to hear it. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next video. We love bringing you stories that empower and uplift. Until next time, stay strong and take care.